Hey there, this is Chad Garber, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to play Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. Yes, Derek and the Dominoes. Eric Clapton formed the blues band Derek and the Dominoes, and therefore they wrote Layla. And here are some of the parts. And then there's and then there's and that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do the last part. I'm not going to do the piano part. I'm just going to do those parts, okay? So here it is, okay? And by the way, if you like these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get notifications of every time I upload a new video if you hit the little bell. And that way also you can, because I'm going to do at least one guitar lesson a week, and probably a lot more. Like right recently I'm doing every day. I don't know how long I'm going to do that for. Okay, so let's get into this. Alright, the first thing is you're going to do this little dealio. All you're doing there is you're picking the A string open, then you're doing a hammer on with your middle finger to the 3rd fret of the A string. Then you're going to do the same thing to the D string. You go to the D string, so you hit A open, hammer on to the 3rd fret. What a hammer on basically means, if you don't know, just rather than go, you're just gonna use your left finger to make that noise. Hammer on, like bong, you're hammering on the string. Alright, so you open A, hammer on 3rd fret. Same thing with the D, the open D, and then you hammer on to the 3rd fret. This is a good hammer on. Knowing how to do hammer on is really helpful too, by the way. If you don't know them, then this could really help you. Alright, so then what you're going to do, not only are you going to do a hammer on, after you hammer on the 3rd fret of the D string, you're also going to pull off. And again, if you're not familiar with that, all you're going to do, the pull off is just basically you pull your string, or you pull your left finger off the fret of the string that makes the note ring. In other words, you're not picking it to go. So in other words, you're not going. You're going. Okay. And then actually you're going to go after you pull off. You're going to go and hammer on the 3rd fret of the A string again. Then you're going to pick the open D. That's all it is. It sounds really complicated and stuff, but it's not. It's cool. It's easy. So here it is again slowly. Sorry. Alright, so if you can't do it quick, just kind of do it slow using metronome and get it perfect, and then keep on speeding up until you get to the right speed. Eventually you'll get to this. And it doesn't hurt to muffle some of the strings so you don't get. You can muffle it just a little bit, not to take away the power, but just take away the other stuff. Alright, you really don't have to muffle as long as you hit the string string. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to do bar chords. You're going to go. So you're going to hit, once you hit the open D, right away you're going to hit the D power chord. And all that is put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. And just hit those 2 strings. So it goes. Like one of them is the D open string and the other one is the bar chord. And if you have problems with this, you can just kind of practice that part. And then you're going to go immediately down to the C bar chord, which is your pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and your ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Then you're going to go down 2 more frets to put your pointer finger on the 1st fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. So. What a cool song. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to hit the open A. And you're going to hit the open A and use your middle finger to hit the 3rd fret of the E string. So you hit A, open A, and then the G string, or the G note, which is the 3rd fret of the low E string. So that part. And keep that part in mind because that's going to do the same thing in a second. So you go. And you're going to hit the C bar chord again. And then the open A and G again. Or open A and 3rd fret on the E again. So, and then you're going to end up right where you ended up. You started off with the D power chord with your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string and the ring finger, on the 7th fret of the D string. So you're basically going. That's like the most common chord progression ever in rock. It's just like. So many songs use that pattern. Okay, so you're doing that just in adding in both of those. So it's. The first time around I used my middle finger to hit the 3rd fret of the E string. But then because I'm on the C after that, I do an open A and then I use my pointer finger to hit the 3rd fret of the G string instead of the middle finger because it's just easier because your chord is progressive. See that? Okay, and that's that part. And then the next part is the same thing. You're going to basically get your pointer finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and you're gonna do you're gonna pick the B string when you're on the 10th fret of the B string with your pointer finger, and you're gonna hammer on with your pinky. Or the way I do it is I hammer on with the pinky on the 13th fret of the B string, and then you're gonna do the same thing. And then you're gonna pick the 10th fret of the high E, and you're gonna hammer on the 13th fret of the E string. Then you're gonna do the same thing you did down here. You're just doing it with an octave higher. So then you hammer on, then you pull off. You pull off from the 13th fret of the high E to the 10th fret of the high E. And then you're going to end up on the 13th fret of the B string. And then you're going to end up again on the 10th fret of the E string. And again, you're going to pull off, and then you're going to pick. Yeah, the only difference between this and the lower one is that you're actually going to pick the 13th fret of the B string on the way back down, other than hammering it on. See? Okay, and then you're going to bend. For the record, as you guessed, we're in the pentatonic scale area, okay? And that's what this lick is. It's just a pentatonic scale lick, okay? So you're going to bend the 13th fret of the high E, like that far, and then you're gonna hit the 13th fret on the E again, and then you're going to hit the 12th fret of the high E, and then you're going to hit the 13th fret of the B string, and then you're going to end on the 10th fret of the high E. Now you can either do that, or you can end up on the 13th, 14th, 15th fret of the B. I go to the 10th fret of the high. I go to the 10th fret of the high E because it's in the pentatonic scale and it feels right to me. So it's, then you do it again. So you're going to go to the 15th fret of the high E and bend it there, and then play a 15th fret without bending. So it's 13th, 14th, yeah. And then you're going to pick the 12th fret of the high E. Then you're going to pick the 13th fret of the B string. And then you're going to end up in the 15th fret of the B string. So it's, then you do it goes twice. And this time, instead of going to the 15th fret of the B string, you stay on the 13th fret of the B string and do a little bend to go on to the next part. Half bend. Alright, so that's that part. And then the verses are, you're going to do a C sharp minor, which is basically a bar chord. I'll tell you what this is. Put your pointer finger on the 4th fret of the A string, put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string, put your pinky on the 5th fret of the G string, and then put your middle finger on the 5th fret of the B string. It's like an A minor, let up a couple frets, and adding your other bar, adding the bar. Okay, so that's C minor or C sharp minor, and then you're just gonna do an F sharp, a G sharp, C sharp minor. Then you're gonna do it again, C sharp minor. Then you're just going to do it basically, you're going to do a C, D, and E, all major. Just do it this way. Just go where I have put my pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then have my ring finger covering up the 5th fret of the D, G, B, and E string. And sliding it up to the 5th fret, put your pointer finger on the 5th fret, and put your ring finger over the 7th fret of the D, G, B, and E string. And then put your pointer finger on the 7th fret of the A string, and your ring finger over the D, G, B, and E string. So okay, so the whole thing would be on this part. So C minor, C major, C sharp minor. Then you can just do an F sharp bar chord. I just do that. Like, just put your pointer finger on the 1st or the 2nd fret of the E string, and your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string, and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D string. And then you can just move your fingers down. Put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, your ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string, and your pinky on the 4th fret of the G string. So okay, so it goes. Then you're just going to do an A major after that. And then just an A, I just do the A string and the pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then it goes back to the F sharp. And then it goes back to the E. Is that right? Yeah. Then you end up at the E, then you do a quick A right before you go again. So you go. Okay, and that's it. That's pretty much, that's the song before all the piano stuff goes on. Now, obviously, when you're doing this part, somebody else is going. Okay, but that's the general thrust of the song. Hopefully this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. And if you want to subscribe to get more, that would be superb. And thank you so much for watching.